Welcome to Jedi Monday. Can hardly wait to get started. Boy, you guys blew up my page with Abby. I'm calling her in as I speak, so give me a second. There she is here by Abby. That we had on her. They were off the charts. She's there right now. Hi, Abby.
Hey,
Good. Thanks for joining me this morning.
thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm looking so forward. I was telling my community that you blew up my page. There's a whole bunch of people that really liked and watched the reels that I did on you last night.
hmm
Did you like it?
Yeah,
Did
I
you like
loved it. Yeah.
I love using reels. It kind of makes us larger than life, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we always like to start with the story, Abby, because there's a lot of people that they kind of their light bulb moment comes from some of the stories. So catch us up to your life. How did you, because you're only 20, how did you end up pivoting from whatever you were on and make the decision to go to PCI, cosmetology school?
Well, I always grew up like loving doing hair. And I really wanted to wait till I knew for sure this is what I wanted to do because it is a commitment. Um, and so I ended up just going to community college for um, my first year after school. And then about halfway through the second semester, I decided I would always like catch myself doing hair and makeup and everything. And I was do this. It's like 10 o'clock at night. Why are you doing your hair? Why are you doing your makeup? And it's like, because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, you know what? Let's just give it a shot and go and try it. So here we are.
Did your parents have any encouragement, influence on deciding that, I'm going to go to kind of the traditional college route, or did you decide I'm going to do a little college to see, but somewhere in there, our hearts and souls, if we're really hairdressers, go, no, no, you got to, we're not going to do that.
Yeah. My parents, I think, knew the whole time I wanted to do it. We were watching like home videos a couple weeks ago and we found a video of me cutting my brother's hair, like pretend cutting his hair. And so that was really funny to watch. But then after I started cosmetology school, my grandma too was like, she finally just did it. And
How,
so,
how, how old were you when you started playing with hair as a kid? So where your family's going, okay, this looks like where she's going.
oh gosh, I was probably 2.
Oh, wow. What a
Yeah.
story, the classic.
hmm
So your soul is calling you out at 2 years old.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's part of the secret sauce right there. So the other question I wanted to ask before we get into your secret sauce is somewhere along the way, our souls are called to do this, but then in the process of doing it, we see something that kind of gives us our first of many light bulb moments that are a little bit of nitroglycerin on the bonfire. Have you had any of those yet?
In school, I've really had one the past couple months. My books have just been full, and it's hard to always like fit people in. So it's like, well, I'll get you in when I next can, but it's like looking into weeks and weeks ahead when I can finally fit someone in is when it's really like, okay, people actually want to come see me. It's not just, you know, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, and I'm going to, without putting words in your mouth, it's like, whoa,
hmm
I can get busy and this can be a great, not only career and enriching, but also provide a good livelihood for myself and for, this next phase of my life. So that's a lot of people don't like see that until they see it. And I'm always curious as to when you see it.
Yeah, that's probably about when I noticed it, but I don't know. I've always seen like Instagram accounts and stuff from like previous girls who went here from my hometown area, and that's kind of encouraged me to like post more and stuff like that and get people in and everything.
All right. Well, I want to pivot then from your story for a
hmm
second to I've never seen, and people in the Summit community, we've never seen somebody get as far as you've gotten so far in a in the period of time it took you. So I think I said on my reels that most people don't make it to a fourth level in a Summit school, And those
Mhm.
that do get there like the last month, like just before they, like I was telling somebody, you've got to be on your game to make four, and you made four halfway through your game. And
Mhm.
then when you look at things like your average ticket, which is, I've not seen a $47 average ticket from a student in school, and 10 referrals, and a
Mhm.
month where you did a couple of $1,000s in services. I'm sure people watching this and going to be watching this are going, okay, so how did she do that? How would you answer that?
It really helps having supportive classmates and other educators as well here to help us. We definitely don't do it alone. Um, but just not being afraid to like put add-ons on and everything. So every little bit gets you there.
Yeah, so part of it is saying when you're in real time, you're having conversations with the guest, and you kind of bring up other services that maybe they haven't considered, and I
Mhm.
get that. Well, but as somebody that follows you on Instagram, and I'm seeing what you're doing in creating content with Reels,
Mhm.
frankly, I don't see a lot of graduates doing some of the things I see you, whatever you want to call it, playing with, getting better at. Were
Mhm.
you doing that before PCI, or is that something that you kind of like started learning about after you enrolled?
It's something I've slowly like worked on getting better and better at and working on transitions and stuff because it's always fun to see when things can really like pull through and pull together. Um, but I also have like some friends that are really good at TikTok and they've helped me a lot too, just kind of figuring out how to make transitions look good, how to get a good before and a good after, and just all the work in between, not only like in the video, but the service itself.
Yeah. Oh, I love this. So, what I hear you saying is that have some peers that are
Mhm.
on TikTok, and TikTok is kind of the reels,
Mhm.
what Instagram is the reels, that is TikTok. So
Yes.
you're saying I'm in a community of people that kind of we play with that. They're showing me how to do editing techniques like transitioning. Um, how long did it take you to kind of build that rhythm? And because it sounds like it's something that you kind of leaned into
Mhm.
once you started school.
It's slowly just been a process. There's some times where TikTok turns out really good, and sometimes where it's like, okay, well, maybe that doesn't need to be posted. But I mean, if you look at like one of my first reels on Instagram, it was a day in class when we were doing treatments, and um, I did the surface. Uh, I think it's like the rose gold treatment on one of our classmates, and the transition was just poor. But slowly like working to like look where can I get better at this? Where could I have redone this and stuff like that really helps too.
Wow. So you're saying, worst case scenario, if something doesn't work out in creating content on Reels or TikTok, you just don't post it. You just but you learn, you move on, and you're saying, and sometimes like I live with the flaw. Like it's like, okay, I'm learning this, and everyone gets better, but yeah, a lot of people they overthink it, and they kind of like their thinking scares them out of experimenting, or what's this click path, and how do I get better at using that transition feature or editing feature. It's intimidating to them. How did you get over the intimidation?
I've just always realized if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. So if I take one and I'm like, okay, that was horrible, the world does not need to see this, then I'm just like,
Yeah.
better one. Still post the pictures and everything from the transition and everyone will be happy.
um, you're doing a lot of referrals. I'm
Mhm.
curious as to how many of your referrals would they found out about you because they happened to either be on the school's page and they went to your page, or they found your page, and so one of the first things they'll say to you is how they found you on your page, and then how many people do any of them DM you to kind of inquire about
Mhm.
your work and availability and all that stuff.
I'd say probably about 30 to 50% of referrals message me, whether it be via Snapchat or whatever. I try to always post like openings that I have or like colors that I've done. Um, and I know when I made my account, because starting an account is the hardest part. I just went through and followed like some of the people on my normal Instagram account that I figured, hey, maybe they'll want to come to me someday. Um, and of course, no one's going to message you right away, or maybe a couple people will message you right away, but it's all like waiting. When they trust you is when they'll start to come. And when they see stuff they like is when they start to trust you. And also when they like enjoy your personality and the traits you have to offer that make you different from other stylists.
Wow, like you said a whole bunch in a short period of time. I just want to unpack one piece of that because you said, I think you said something like, when on my personal page, I got curious about who was following me that might be a potential
Mm-hmm.
client, and then I would follow them, and they're not going to reach out to you right away. And
Mm-hmm.
say more about that, because a lot of people that hasn't occurred to them. It's like, how do you get followers that might want to come see you? So can you talk about that piece a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more?
Yeah, you have to look at everyone as a potential guest. Until they like I said, when they're ready, they'll come to you. But no one, I mean, not even everyone I follow will come to me at some point. But just getting their attention in the first place, whether they follow me back or not, that's cool. I don't really care. But um, when you show them that you're going out of your way, that you want to potentially serve them someday, that shows them a lot too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what I'm getting in the following, what I'm curious about is,
Mhm.
and I can't like call up your page now because I'm using my mobile, but how many followers you have currently, and then how many of those followers would either be they're currently your guest, or they have the potential in being your guest. Have you ever kind of like went through your list to kind of find out who's who in my crew?
I haven't fully gone through and done that. Like I said, I kind of just have slowly followed, and people will come to me as they want to come to me. If you beg, then they're not always going to want it, but you just
Right,
got to
right.
go there without trying to show them that you're there, if that
Oh
makes
yeah, I mean, you could be. I mean, what I'm learning as you're talking is something as subtle as, oh, it's a possible candidate. At I'm going to at least follow them
sense. Hmm.
to for them to get curious, and who knows, you can plant a seed in someone's mind just by following them.
Hmm.
It's one of those, I'll follow you if you follow me. I lose followers if somebody's following me and I don't follow them back,
Hmm.
because I watch my page to see who stopped following me, and sure enough, there was a number of people that were following me, and I didn't follow them back. And there's part of this, I'm not going to follow you if you don't follow me. So I can see where that's an important, how you could pick up clients just by following them.
Yeah, and something too as simple as like commenting on posts of guests who have come in, like, "Hey, I love your hair. I wonder who did it." Just kind of joking around, um, or just liking the post. They'll see that in their feed, um, whether they are looking for you or not. If they see, oh, Hair by Abby W liked your post, they might be like, oh, hey, I've been needing my hair done, or know someone who says they might be needing their hair done, and hey, we're in the Ames area, but we don't want to drive wherever else to where we normally get our hair done.
Oh,
That's
wow.
just
Well,
it's.
what just occurred to me, Abby, is you have your handle, what you do, hair by.
Hmm.
So even if they can't put a name with a face, they would get curious. Somebody is following me,
Hmm.
hair by Abby. And so all of a sudden they get curious to, if nothing else, to click on to go to your page. And then that compels them to follow you. Before you know it, a seed's planted, and then who knows?
Hmm.
Now, if the seed germinates, would it be, how normal would it be for somebody that is kind of checking you out to DM you? Period. They just kind of reach out. They not on, and if they do, what do they say?
um Kind of just more of a, hey, I've been looking to get my hair done. I'm still not sure what I want. what would you recommend, or what would like a price range be, stuff like that. But just being
Wow.
generous and willing to talk with them, and instead of just jumping right to exactly what you want to do or whatever.
Right.
Listen.
Do any of them ever kind of almost like take a screen grab of a piece of your content and go, I like that. Do you think
Hmm.
that would work? And all of a sudden they'll
Hmm.
send you a selfie
Yeah.
where you almost have kind of a hybrid before and after, and you have a conversation, a DM conversation around that.
Hmm. Yeah, that happens every now and again.
Yeah.
It's just fun to see everyone who's messaged me and come in and everything like that. So,
Oh yeah, because that's kind of become a way that's almost like I don't want to say a new normal, but it's something that was totally non-existent almost before COVID. And now it's becoming like that's become kind of a common touch point, and kind of the greeting, the virtual greeting before the actual greeting, the virtual consultation before the actual. And there's a lot of graduates that aren't doing this yet. So the idea that you're doing it as a student is a big deal.
mm-hmm.
Well, I could pick your brain for hours, and I promised you that I wouldn't keep you more than 15 minutes or so. So before telling you goodbye, I'd like to ask you two things. One, would you come back?
Yeah, I would love to.
And you're going to be in school, I think, until, is it the back end of this year, front end of next?
Yes, yep.
So it would be fun to have you come back on the back end of school.
Yeah.
And to just see, now, do they have levels that are higher than level 4 at PCI?
Yeah, I think we're price quoted up to level 7.
Okay. So as you're running this marathon, we'll see if you crack 7, and who knows, you might even create a new level that hasn't been hit yet. More will be revealed, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do that. And the other thing I want to ask you is, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a number of people that are either watching now or will be watching that were kind of like, do I or do I not do cosmetology school, beauty school? They might even be enrolled as we speak at a college. And they're watching this and they're going, ooh, their spider senses are tingling to do it. But there's always the fear and the doubt, well, I know, but what if it's not going to be for me? Blah, blah, blah. Is there anything that you could say to them that might help them to not get so stuck in their head and like take the leap of faith that you took?
Mm-hmm. My biggest thing is probably that you get out what you put in. The more work you put into what you do, at least at first, I know like the goal is eventually to work to where you don't have to work as much to get as much. But the more you put in now, the less you have to put in later. And that'll just really benefit. So you really start from where you start, essentially. You don't, you got to pick a spot and you got to just go from there. You can't hesitate. You got to just go.
Yeah, what I'm hearing you say is, make the decision to do it. But then once you make the decision, don't waste too much time. Gee, I wonder if I'm going to like this. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt, pour your heart into it. And before you know it, you start having experiences that amaze you.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, oh man. So I love that answer. I love it. So thank you for coming on, and I can't wait to. I keep following you. I think I like your stuff, your content. I try to make comments on it, but I can't wait for a couple months to go by to just see how far you go.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you have a great day, my friend, and say hi to my homies at PCI, will you?
I will.
All right.
You so much.
Stay well. Bye.
Bye.